Hi, athletic family. It's Coach Unger, athletic director here at Waterloo again. Another video on our ongoing series highlighting our wonderful student athletes. Today we have Tyson Roedle, who just graduated from the high school last year, 4-year varsity in baseball, shortstop, second baseman, middle infielder, and then kicked and was running back on the football team as well. So we're going to talk to Tyson about a wide variety of things and all of that. So, Tyson, first off, just kind of tell us a little bit about your high school experience, those types of things.
Well, it was a great experience I had. Got to play varsity baseball 4 years. And that was like a dream come true. Like it kind of sounds dumb, but like you're growing up junior high, you're like, oh man, I just want to play varsity baseball, and I got the opportunity.
Technically 3 years, right? Because the spring season was taken that last year. But yes, would have been 4 years. Yes,
and then getting able to play football, I kicked a little bit freshman year, got to play sophomore year and junior year, and got a senior year for that, so that was good.
Yeah.
But I had a great time. Like Waterloo's a great time to be in front of, play in front of.
So let's talk about that. Of the thrill you got being under the lights Friday night down on the baseball field for those big games. Talk about the community and the community support and what that means for the football team, the baseball team, just athletes in general.
Oh yeah, I think Waterloo has a great support behind us. Like football, we didn't have the greatest last couple of years, and yet we still had we had fans in the stands every Friday night cheering us on, and it's a great feeling to have as a player.
How much does that help? And I know athletes talk about, oh, you're in the zone, and I don't hear the crowd and this and that. And I played sports. I was a baseball guy. I could hear the crowd, for goodness sakes. Talk about that, of how much that crowd, when the student section is really into it or when the crowd's really into it, does that help you guys on the football field?
Oh, 100%. Like when you hear like all your friends out there just screaming for you to like just adding you on and just play well and help try to win the game. It's a good feeling, like people are behind you no matter what. Like
sure,
they're gonna support you, cheer you on.
Now, one of the things with you, and I'll tell the story here, Tyson Roedle. My favorite story about Tyson Roedle, and I had the pleasure of coaching Tyson at the high school level, and then even in some summer baseball stuff. And I remember, I think it was your sophomore year, you were coming off of that injury, had an elbow injury, had moved you to second base. And at this point into the year, things weren't going great with the bat, and you were actually getting DH'd for. And my favorite story was Tyson Roedle was the first one onto the field to get to second base and the first one off the field every inning. Talk about that mindset, and you talk about a great teammate. You are the epitome of a great teammate. Talk about that mindset of doing whatever it takes to help my team win.
Right. I love that statement. Doing whatever you can to be the best teammate you can. Like after having that surgery, like it was tough to get back in rhythm. Like timing was off. I wasn't hitting well, and like me and Coach Vogel talked about it, and no hard feelings. It's just you got to play the best players on the team, and so my role on that team was to be the best defensive player I can. I wasn't focused on offense that game because I'm like, I'll be DH for, so I'll just do whatever I can to be the best defensive player. And when I'm on the bench, I'm the best teammate, cheering everyone on, and then running on and off the field. That's just something that I can do to keep myself in that game and to keep me in shape and just keep me in the game and be like, hey, like we got to be focused going in and out of the dugout.
So what does that mean to you? Put the team first, be the best teammate. Some advice for our athletes out there watching these videos right now. Your advice to them of how to do those things.
I would say like putting the team first. Basically, it's like you do anything and everything you can to make sure that your team is playing to the best ability that they can. Like one of the best, I think, demonstrations of it is actually on the football field when you have an underclassman who's playing scout defense or offense Monday through Thursday out in the heat. You're grinding the starters 4 days a week just for them to go out and play Friday night and perform to the best. You're out there every day making your best players even better, even though your number might not be called on Friday night. And I think it's a great way to show that you want your team to win and you want your teammates to be the best.
How important is that, especially for football? That I'm a second string. I'm on that scout team, even maybe not second string, a little further. I'm on that scout team, and I'm playing middle linebacker. How important is that for you guys as an offense for that person to go hard and to challenge his teammates and make them better?
It's crucial to be in a good team. You need everyone on that team, whether you're the number one starter or you're on the third string, because even if you're on that third string, you're just as important as a starter. You know, you're going to get that opportunity eventually, and you just need to. When you're at that opportunity, you want the person behind you to push you to be better.
So we talked about arm injury after your freshman year. I remember you going out and actually kicking that next year. Couldn't play running back, couldn't do those things. Was still going out, had the arm stuff on his arm, the brace on it and everything. Looked a little bit like RoboCop. I'm showing my age here, but you know, and you still contributed to the team in some way. Talk about that, of overcoming those obstacles as a young kid, 15, 16 years old, to have an arm surgery and those things, and overcoming those obstacles. Talk about the mentality and your mentality of how you went about that.
Oh yeah, it was tough. You know, like I was so happy about playing varsity baseball and having a chance to. I was hoping I could play, maybe be a running back sophomore year. Like that'd have been another awesome thing that I could have I've done as well. But doctor said I wasn't ready, and I had to just sit down and be like, okay, like I got to take my role as the team, just like in baseball and being the best defensive player. I got to be the best kicker on that team. You know, I would go out every day of practice and be like, okay, I can't run today, but I'm gonna kick and do my part to help the team win by kicking. And I really had to it grew. I grew as a person and as a teammate by having the mentality to just be like, okay, I know my role and I'm going to be the best role that I can
In that role.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. For those who don't know, Tyson is heading to Milliken, right? Going to play football and baseball at Milliken as well. The rare two-sport college athlete. So don't let him fool you of what kind of an athlete he really is, because there's not many that play two sports at the college level. So let's talk about that. How important was the weight room? Is the weight room for you getting ready to go into two sports at the college level? How important was it for your success, for your varsity at baseball, and you know, all the varsity experience, whatever it was, 3 years at varsity at football and stuff? How important is the weight room?
I think it's very important. Probably one of the most important things that you can do. You know, when you're getting stronger, you're creating every attribute that you have on the field. You're just multiplying it when you're in that weight room. And through high school, you can tell who works in the weight room, who doesn't, just by watching people on the field. You can pick and point players on that field and be like, I bet he works hard in the weight room. And you can just tell. And
more times than not, the really successful ones are the ones who are getting after it in the weight room, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. It's a big difference.
Yeah. Best memory, best highlight of your high school career. Favorite thing, when you look back at your high school career now that you're out, what is the one thing you take from it?
I would definitely have to go with the junior year state playoff baseball run. That was one of the probably the most fun I've ever had playing the sport. You know, going out with a team that wasn't expected to do very well. I think we were second last in the conference, and we get into the playoffs, win a game, beat a Mizzou commit, and we're off the sectionals, and we just grinded out.
Beat a Carbondale commit who was drafted in sectionals. Beat another Carbondale commit in sectional finals.
Yeah. To have it, and also to have the support of the team, like our community. We're driving an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, and we have fans coming up to cheer us on. You know? It was a great way to just support the Waterloo letters on here.
Talk about the mental aspect. I know baseball, Coach Vogel does a lot in that. Talk about that mental aspect of just winning this pitch and not letting things in situations get too big. Do you think that helped that team in that run, that you were just focused on winning that pitch instead of, oh my goodness, it's a Mizzou commit? Talk about that mentality and how that could have helped that team.
I think that was the one thing. Like when Coach Vogel instills that into our brains, that we know okay, we have this game to win. We have a great pitcher in front of us. We can't just try to hope to win the game. You got to win that pitch. You got to take it one step at a time. Play small ball. Play anything. All the little games you got to play into one big game.
Yeah.
And it was to beat pitchers like that. You got to play the pitch one time.
Yeah. One thing, if you could go back and do this all over again, one thing that you would do differently.
I don't think I would change one thing that did happen. I think I'd change one thing that didn't, and that would be senior year baseball. I had some high hopes for us this year, and I thought we could have done a lot of awesome things.
Well, and I think every athlete out there who had that stolen from them, that would probably be theirs too. They would love to have that back. So that probably goes hand in hand. If I asked you that, the one piece of advice for those high school kids, would it be something along the lines of don't take anything for granted?
Exactly what I was.
Yeah. And then I'm going to share one of my favorite Tyson Roedle stories too, that he shared his, and mine actually happened over the summer, where he got on one of the tournament games and he gets on with a walk. First pitch, after he's on first base, he steals second. Ball goes into center field, and we talked about the character of this young man. He's always running hard. He runs hard to third base. Their center fielder is loafing after it, and Tyson rounds third and scores all the way from first base on a stolen base. And so you talk about hustle. That play right there epitomized it to me of the character you are and what you're all about. So. Tyson, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And we wish you all the best of luck and can't wait to follow you in football and in baseball at the next level.
Thank you.
All right.